Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And today is Wednesday, the 8th of January, 2025. And it's approximately 13:05. That's 1:05 p.m. Central Time in the United States. And so I'm at home, as you can tell from my surroundings. I'm in my master bathroom. I got home about 90 minutes ago. My wife is at work. She got a new job. We're all very happy. And I've got a new job, as you well know, my trials and tribulations going on with that. And I've got a couple of stories to share. But my wife is this is her third day on the new job. And she is just thrilled. So she's happy. I'm happy. And things are going to turn around for us pretty quick. And I'll have some things to share along that line. Maybe you can beat it out of Bill M. If you can catch up to him. But he knows a little bit about my future plans, our future plans, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, let's get on with the introduction of the equipment, and I can get on with my storytelling, and I can get on with the shave. And so, whenever I'm home like this on a real quick, this is kind of almost a spur of the moment kind of release. Real quick, I've got to be back to the truck tonight for a load tomorrow. I got in this morning, I came home, and I'll tell more about that. And I got to be back to the truck tonight. But when I come home like this, I like to just pick what I want to pick out of my collection to use. And you'll remember last time I picked up the Boker 14er, the 8/8 sapphire blue translucent scales. I used the Gooms or Argums, Martin de Condre, and I didn't stray too far from my preferences. This time, instead of using the Boker 14er, I'm using the cousin of the Boker Count Engelbert II. Again, a beautiful razor, gold sculpting, some etchings there on the front of good old Count Engelbert and his stopping the Muslim horde of the Middle Ages in Central Europe. And Engelbert II, Graf von Berg, 1180, is that a 3 or a 5? 85 to 1223. And he's wearing a pontiff-style hat in the relief picture, and a shield with a cross, and I don't know what that other design is, but anyway, my brush this afternoon is going to be the QED Select Manchurian Silvertip Badger 28 millimeter. This is the big one, and I gave one away to my friend Randy, my truck driver buddy Randy, and that was a 24 millimeter, but the handle on it was so small I didn't like it, so I gave it to him. And I got a 28, a 26, and another 24, but it's that red faux garnet. You may have seen it. He still has some on his website over there at QED Select or USA, QED USA, whatever it is. And my soap today is going to be the Martin de Condre Original, which is a lavender and bergamot scent, which is just lovely, just delightful. I had a haircut I had a shower, and you may hear some very light electronic style relaxing music. And when I get done here, since I'm not going to be able to sleep in my own bed tonight, I'm going to take a bit of a nap and listen to that for a while. And so here we go. And I've got 24 hours, and you may remember my last shave on video 48 hours ago from the hotel room. And I forget what time of the day that was. It was in the morning sometime after breakfast, so I suspect it was around 10, 11 o'clock. And it was after 4 o'clock, 1600, that the repair shop at the Love's Truck Stop in Baldwin, West Jacksonville, called and said that my truck was ready. And, that's all good and fine. Everything went fine. And there's no real story to tell other than I went down to the truck, got everything secure, got all my gear put away that I took with me to the hotel. And I was actually in the truck at about 6:30 because I remember having dinner at around 6:30 night before last. And I set my clock for 5 o'clock to get up. I intended to get rolling by 6 o'clock Central Time. Eastern Time. And what happened was, and it's all good, really, it just worked out really just fine. I woke up at a 4:30 over there at the truck stop in Baldwin, Florida. And I couldn't go back to sleep. I tried to roll over a couple of times, but essentially I got up at about 4:40, 4:35. I guess that'd been Monday morning. No. Yeah, Tuesday morning, yesterday morning. And got rolling. I talked to my wife. It was there was almost a little bit of a mind game going on. I woke up at 4:30 Eastern Time. And so what time does that make it? Central Time. That makes it 3:30 in the morning. I woke up and couldn't go back to sleep, but I wasn't paying attention to that kind of thing. And then I just happened to look at the clock on my truck, which is right in front of the steering wheel on the dash. And it said 4:50 for the time that the wheels started turning. I pulled out of the truck stop. And, but that was Central Time. 4:50 Central Time. So I guess I was an hour and a half because I had to go fuel the truck and get a cup of coffee and warm up my breakfast burrito in the store microwave, which I do most mornings. And so I started rolling 4:50, let's just call it 5 o'clock for ease of conversation. And these brushes, these QED Select premium Select Manchurian Silvertip Badger are just wonderful. It's like a cushion of cloud on your face. It's so soft and so luxurious, yet still plenty of backbone to give you support for that 28 millimeter knot and all of the lather that it's producing. And it's just an amazing brush, and I love this brush. Go over and take a look at last year before last, where I learned of them. It was from what's that guy's name? The Italian Stallion. He calls himself, he's very popular in some circles. I can't think of his name right now. And he's been kind of, I don't know if he's just off of YouTube. Maybe I understood he's got some kind of Facebook presence. And that's all, that's his business. I'll think of his name in a little bit. But he was promoting these from QED Select. 24 months ago. And so I bought, and they were, for the price, they're outstanding. The 28 millimeter, I think, was I don't know, just over $100. All right, Count Engelbert, let's whack down the horde of whiskers. And this was honed up on the Dan's, Arkansas. Black, surgical black. Hard black, if you will. And if you can't tell, I am feeling considerable better than what I have been. So I went through last week Odessa, Texas, windstorm, dust storm, blowing, as Martin would say, like the Sahara. And I got the sand bug, whatever the sand bug is. I got a sand bug, a cold, something, and it don't really matter. But I got all congested, a little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a cough, but that's all going away. And the drainage has begun, or has been ongoing here for a while. So this little breakdown, the numbers are starting to come in, and it's going to cost the company close to $10,000 for total repair and all related expenses, including hotel and such like. And so he wants me to come back tomorrow, my boss, after this little respite here, to go in at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and get loaded for an Odessa, going back to Odessa, Texas. Which is fine. I just hope the wind stopped blowing. That feels pretty good. But I learned a couple of things about my boss, bless his heart. Bless his heart. Yeah, he was in there. I've caught both of the manager and the mechanic in his office, the manager's office, at the same time, and I've been wanting to do that. I said, okay guys, here's the deal. Since I've been driving this truck, no AC, no cruise control, and no engine brake. Those have got to be fixed, I said. And today's the perfect day to take a look at it, because I'm going home and not sure when I'm returning, because I hadn't been assigned the load yet. And I said this would be a good day to maybe take care of that. So they agreed that they would get a look at, maybe fix it if they had the parts, and of course they never do. But at least it's a start to get those three major systems repaired, because it's not going to be long in Texas until we start having some very warm days and very muggy and sultry nights. It's coming, and it's coming faster than anybody wants it to happen. But it is inevitable. And so I came into their office, my manager's office. The two of them were sitting there. They were on the phone together. Well, let me back up. When I was talking to my manager privately some minutes before that, we're talking, and every 30 seconds his phone is ringing, and he's getting more and more impatient, and I don't need him getting impatient with me. I haven't done anything. I just had a major breakdown. Well, come to find out, so's everybody else. And he said to me, that phone rings from midnight to midnight. I said, why don't you just turn it off? I said, it's all you guys breaking down. We've got breakdown problems. We have insufficient mechanic coverage. The one mechanic we do have, I'm hearing stories that he has been told to cut back his hours and overtime. How do you do that with a fleet of 15 trucks that are constantly breaking down or have major system conditions? Yeah, like no AC, like no engine brake or whatever else I said. I got 3 cruise control. That's the other one. And those things just, how do you get those things fixed unless you just keep writing and writing and writing them to get them fixed? And nobody wants to be that squeaky wheel, but sometimes you gotta be. And, but we'll see how far along the trail they get today. And so when I came back to the office and I was talking to my manager, I went out, came back. Now he's talking with the shop or the mechanic, and they're on the phone talking to a repair center and trying to get quotes on what it's going to cost to rebuild an engine. And that just reinforces and confirms what I've already been suspicioning in the morning, this morning, that we have significant breakdown problems. And I don't know what's going to happen to fix all that. But I'm going to be less apprehensive. I'm going to be less, I won't say understanding, because I'm understanding that everybody's having breakdown problems. Okay, so that's kind of that. I did want to say a few words. Today I've been watching videos and trying to keep up, and it's been hard. Less so the last a few days when I was broke down in the hotel room. Saturday I was just exhausted from the tow truck coming into the hotel late, like 1:30, 2 o'clock late. And so it wasn't until later in the day that I felt like doing much of anything. But I did get a shower and shave in and a video on Saturday. Then it was Monday morning. But I got caught up on most of the videos and all my guys, my fellows that I like to watch, and I'll have them listed in my comment section, in the more section. I guess that's what they call it. I don't know. I'm finding I'm just not real tech savvy about certain things, but that's okay. I don't really care about being that tech savvy. As long as I can get certain things done, I'm okay. Anyway, the guys I like to watch: Bill M., Greg Galat, Eric Cajun Blade, Sean Staplefeld, Martin Shave Test, and Dapper Shaves. And some of the others that I make mention of routinely, regularly, and some that I only make occasional reference to. Especially some of the international guys, But I think it was Sean Staplefeld and I were talking about, it may not have been him. If you remember who it was, feel free to chime in the comment section about sharp, good enough, doing the best you can. Not everything has to be perfect. Pick up the hobby and get going. Shaving, honing, getting your razors ready to shave. That's the important thing and you don't have to become an expert at everything. So, here's my 2 cents worth. Get yourself a basic foundational set. So you have a progression of stones from, say, a 500 to 1,000. 1,000 is usually regarded as the primary bevel setter. And if we were talking Arkansas stones, we would talk in terms of coarse, medium, and extra fine. But in synthetic stones, 1,000 for me, it's the Shapton Glass series. I like the simplicity of all those stones being the same brand, of the same honing system as created by the manufacturer, in this case, the Shapton Glass series. Now, somebody asked me once upon a time, is it HR or HC? Stand by a second. These are some of the empty boxes. So, got the 30,000 on top, 1,000, 4,000, 8,000. And I don't think oh, here's a 500. Here's my Shapton glass 500 grit, 29.4 microns, as you can see. I don't see anything that says HC or whatever the other designation was I said, HR and HC, I don't know. And so, but it's a nice typical white sort of grain, ceramic on the glass. Somebody asked, one of you guys asked me some time ago, and I just didn't remember until now I keep my Shapton glass stones and sets in the cabinet above the commode. And then I keep my natural stones in the cabinet right below the sink here. That's why I can reach down and grab the Arkansas stones as easily as I do. Now, as you can tell, I don't have a lot of time. I'm not home, but like today, just for a few hours until I go back out again, and I could be back out for a week. I'll probably be off to this Odessa load, come back, and I'll probably be home Saturday afternoon, and on Sunday, back to work on Monday. That's my guess. But your guess is as good as mine, especially with the stress level that and I remember my new boss is the same as my old boss, and I've known him for years, and I've never seen him under such stress. So that stress is coming from somewhere. And oftentimes that kind of stress does not come from yourself. You don't place that kind of stress on yourself. Maybe it's coming from somebody else, from within the company, maybe one of his boss. And I understand why that might be though too, but I'm not going to go into that right here, right now. And so, when I got into the hobby and I started looking at the stones, most of my education came from the videos of Lynn Abrams. And he has all those honing videos from 10 years ago, where he's using natural stones and Shaptons and Corseras and this one and that one and other brands. And that's all fine and dandy because that's kind of what he was. He was a honer. of course, you can't buy every stone unless you're stupid rich. And so you got to make decisions what you're going to use, whether you're going to go natural, synthetic, what's your base foundation going to be. Because some of those stones are not cheap. The 30,000 Shapton glass, 30,000, which you have to buy separately. It doesn't come in a set, or at least it didn't when I was looking at it and bought it. And that's if I remember right, it's a $300 plus stone, and so that's a commitment to buy that. And some of the 16,000 came in a part of a set, so you got like a 1,000, an 8,000, and a 16,000, I think. But watching Lynn Abrams early on, I made the decision that I was going to go with that Shapton glass set. I was not going to mix and match. I'm sorry, it did not make sense to me. Although some were saying that, hey, for an 8,000, this is the best one. Now, I, like everybody else, I bought the Norton 4.8 as my first beginning stone, and that I would recommend the same. And if that's as far as you want to go, it's not a bad decision. And if you've watched me for very long, you've seen me do a shave and a honing session using the Norton 4.8 as a standalone system. And that's fine. It works fine. And then from the 8,000, so you got your system. You're going to choose what brand of stone, Naniwa, Casera, Shapton glass, on and on, that you might want. You don't have to buy all of them. You don't have to go, or you can take a lifetime, set yourself out a timeline over 10, 15, 20 years, or as money becomes available. And so I chose to go synthetic first. And for synthetic, I got my Shapton glass series. And that way I had what I needed. Some of those came in a set. Some of those came individually that I had to buy. But I ended up with the 500, the 1,000, the 2,000, the 4,000, the 8,000, the 16,000, and the 30,000 grit. And there's my complete foundational honing base, honing system. And then from that, I decided to build off the synthetics. build off of the naturals, I should say. And back when I was getting started, there were, probably not as many, but because there's some new names today of natural stones that were not out and available when I was getting started, but they're upstarts. They are new. Now there's some that are not. Some of the European names have been around for a while, and I'm thinking of the one that Eric just showed us within the last few days on the water of air. That's European, the Scottish, and that, good, fine. I don't know how long, I guess, I'm not going to say. I don't know. I think I saw something that said it's been out for a good long while, readily available for a good long while. And of course, the Thuringian and Escher. Thuringian is the stone, Escher is the a brand that's no longer available, unobtainium. But I understand that Thuringian are still available, maybe not in the pristine or the, what do they call it, the light green or yellow green that they once were, and they're more of a blue-green today. And of course, there's all of that you gotta learn. And then the conical. So when I was coming up 10 years ago, learning all this stuff, deciding what I wanted to do, of all the things that were commonly available that you saw discussed on the forums back then were the conical, the Arkansas, and the new one of the day back then, 10 years ago, was the Zulu Gray. And that caught my fancy, and so that's the direction I went. Because once you kind of learn the diluting method, do I really have to learn French and say dilucat? Do I have to say that? It's just diluting. You build up a slurry and you dilute it down to nothing, to clear water. And so your conical and has a, you can treat it as a one stone hone, or is it the other way around? One hone stone, one stone hone? Or the Arkansas stone, which it doesn't slurry per se. The particles that come off of the crystalline structure are not friable like the conical, where they get smaller and smaller, or other kinds of stones with their particles where you keep working them. JNAT, the particles become smaller and smaller as you keep working. Here's something you might find a little interesting, a little tidbit, is that when I got up early yesterday morning and started driving from the Love's Truck Stop at Baldwin, west side of Jacksonville, I stopped in Vinton, Louisiana, exit 7, I-10, Louisiana, and I drove 734 miles in 10 hours and 45 minutes. Of course, these trucks, these old trucks that don't have speed limiters on them, they can go that fast. And so getting 750 miles at 80 miles, 80 miles an hour, sometimes the speed limit's 75 and you push it just a little more. So I guess what I'm saying and all that is you don't have to keep up with everybody else. Find a system that works for you, add to it, maybe add a couple of naturals, get a nice solid synthetic foundation to your honing system. And then you can add, because each natural stone, conical, Arkansas, whatever, each of those stones will give you a little different feel on your edge as you're shaving with that razor. And that's part of the game, is understanding, feeling, and then of course the different steels, how the different steel contributes to the different feel from the different stones that give you a different feel. It's endless. It's endless. And that's okay too. And there are people that have the time and the interest and the money to get all the stones and the different. That's one of the things I like about my collection, is that I've got steel from all of the major contributing players over the last 150 years, last 175 years maybe. But if you don't have that kind of time, I will tell you, for me right now, it's just coming home and grabbing my Count Engelbert that brings me pleasure and happiness with the time crunch that I'm under. And so I don't it's not like it was, and I don't particularly like it because I'm getting older. And I don't mind saying I'm sensing my mortality with not having felt well, with my weight loss, undefined or not understanding why I'm having the weight loss I am. I weighed in. I had a good, when I got home, I had a good meal. And my wife's at work, so I fed myself. And had my shower, dried off, had scaled, even after having just ate. And I came in at 222.2, which is about a pound. That's not much, but it's a pound less than what I scaled a week ago. And of course, all the medical people will tell you, unexpected weight loss, unexplained weight loss. You know, what's that all about? I can't answer that. Now, there is a certain amount of pride and satisfaction that comes from being able to hone on the natural stones like the conical or the Arkansas, whatever it was that your great-grandfather may have used. He may have used an Escher because he was German and came from the old country. And that's part of the nostalgia of it all too. You might be say, what did Granddad use? What did great grandpa use? And well, I want to use that. I want to learn how to use that. Of course, then you buy it, or maybe he left one to you and you never knew how to use it. I wonder if you can hear that music I got playing off the background on YouTube. Very pretty. All right, we're done with the face shave. And Count Engelbert is going to go back into his little leather roll-up in a little bit here. First, we'll do the head shave. Well, Martin de Condre smells good. It holds its scent very well. It doesn't come across as strong or heavy-handed at first, but it does grow on you. And I certainly like the lavender bergamot scent. And the head razor that we're going to use is Fox Cutlery. I think you can see it there pretty good. It's a little 5/8 barber's notch. This one I remember, it is pure Zulu gray. Oops. Okay, I think we're done with that for right now. As I've always said, it's a little hard to see the hair after I've done a haircut, and so we let it grow for a couple days. Here lately, it's been a week or so. It don't really matter. It's just all going to come off again anyway. All right, let me do the back of the neck, and we will call it quits. Okay, that's it. We're done. Oh, well, not quite. Almost. All right, let's throw the brush in the water. Give it a minute to soak. And let's see what I want to do here and how I want to do it. All right, so we got some Ozma alum block coming up. Keep it away from the boker, the alum. Just enough sting to let you know you shaved your face with a straight razor. Oh, that feels good. Smells good, feels good. All right, I'm gonna do something. I wanna do a little bit more on the rinsing out the brush, because I came back, last time I put on the Good cologne and it was on my hands, and I came back and washed my brush out more thoroughly and washed that off my hands. And I didn't like that. I want the smell to stay. I want the cologne, the perfume. I want the perfume to stay on my hands as long as possible. I don't want it to be rinsed off because I'm fooling around rinsing my brush out. So I'm rinsing my brush out now pretty thoroughly. I'll let that run. That's pretty good. Oop. There. And that's enough water in the sink. I put about 2 inches in and let the brush soak. And now, I don't know what I'm going to use, but let's go digging, okay? Well, that's the one we used last time, so we're not going to use that one. In fact, let's just put that down in there. Throw the card away. I don't care much about the card. Oh, here we go. How about, let's see. Let's see. The top note, citrus fresh, the heart, floral musky, and the base is musky, woody, ambery, it must be amber, and the name of the cologne is Aristocrat. You ever heard of it before? It's got a nice little vial. I'll use about half of that or so. All right. Dry off my hands, again, not to waste any. Waste not, what? Okay, Aristocrat. So we used right at about a half, like I said. Oops. And she's given me, my stepdaughter, I don't know if you can see all of those in there, but she's given me, this is probably maybe over the last 3 or 4 years. She'll give me a little sample thing at my birthday, or maybe it's Christmas. Sometimes it's been Father's Day. And so, and I'm very sparing in using this as well. Sometimes I say I need, well, I'm, Reva, you didn't hear me say that, because I know she watches, of late, she has been watching more of my shaving videos because she likes them. Wow. And so you'll see her name on the list of regulars. And she's got the book. She's written 2 books on raising children, I'm not going to say it right, so forgive me, with special needs. I'll say it that way, with special needs. And bless her heart, she's one of the finest mothers I've ever seen that takes care of her child and the needs that he has. And curse every doctor that's ever used the injections for children, the vaccines. I am with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and childhood vaccines as a cause, or at least a very suspicious culprit for autism. Because my granddaughter has autism, and listen to him talk about, Kennedy, talk about the statistics that when his uncle was president, it was like 1 in 200,000 kids had autism. Today it's like 1 in 15. And these pharmaceutical companies and these agri companies, curse them to the dirt. And may we become healthy again. God bless us. Thank you for watching. I'll see you down the road.